throughout history, emotions have been considered as a weakness in many cultures, and it's often um, seen as a feminine things to do. So, in the past, masculinity suggests all boys and men out there that they should be brave, strong, confident, and should not be emotionally sensitive, or we can say they should not cry. Well, I disagree with it. I mean, the statement of boys or men should not cry, I disagree with it because it's just in the past. Now, 2022, all people, I mean, mostly all people around the world have a freedom to express their emotions, like, physically and emotionally. So, I think we have to move on, guys. Like, I have a data according to Dr. Virginia Ethos. She found that there were a psychological pressure to men that made them unable to cry. She also found that men's being uncomfortable to crying because usually people who are emotionally sensitive is a woman, right? So they don't want to be in the same spot as a woman, especially in a emotional way. So they're afraid to being judged by public because they are crying just like a woman. That is an issue. That's really that's really an issue. But you have to know that crying can act as a communications. So with crying, it lets others know that our feelings important. All of our feelings is important. Like if you cry in a joyful situations, it means you are relieved of something. And if you cry when you're sad, stressful, or you've been injured, it means you need supports by people around you, or people, or your inner circle. And have you watched a Disney movie called Inside Out, guys? I mean, I'll tell you that this movie is a simple representation of how all the emotions inside our body and how ourselves and people or environments around us have a big impact of how our emotion works inside our body. And the movie itself uh, wants to deliver a message that joy and sadness should be balanced. You can hold one of it for a long time. They have to be released in the same portions. So if a man being pretentious about their emotion, especially crying, it means they hold it, and it's not good. You have to release it. You have to release the negative energy inside yourself. Like in my experience, I have a little brother, and sometimes we fight. And in the middle of fights, I can see a sign of he being emotional. And when I see the sign, I told him to cry first, and I will wait after he finish it, or maybe he a bit calmer than before. I will talk to him again and apologizing for something that made him uncomfortable and things like that. So I used to think and still think that if I have a chance to be a parent of a son in the future, I will raise him like that. I mean, it's okay for you to cry. You have to know that emotion exists. You have to know sadness to know what is happiness. You have to know happiness to know what is sadness. And yeah, I think it's a good point. And men have a feelings to be controlled, especially the negative one. And men sure being stressful or hurt by something or someone in their life. And I think that that situation, it's the way for them to be emotional, and it's the way for them to have the needs of releasing all the negative energy inside their body. And cry is a options, and it's good to cry. At least you crying wisely, right? I mean, you know what I mean, right? Like, yeah. So after all, I believe that if we still, have a mindset of the statement that told all boys and men out there, if it's not okay for them to cry, well, we really messed up, guys. I mean, we have to told our boys and men's the opposite of it. Like, it's okay to cry, because if one day they are overwhelmed by the emotions and they refused to release it by crying, I think it will diminish the impact of the moment. And like I said, if they do that for a long time, the negative emotion can be bottled, and eventually it will turn into a time bomb, and just wait for the explosion time. And guys, you will regret it in the future, like, really, because hold your tears for a long time, it's not good for your health, especially your mental health. So yeah, I disagree it's not okay for men to cry, but I agree that it's okay for men to cry.